So the next time you see a sheriff, shoot him.
No, Betsy.
Hello and welcome to the pond, the strange corner of YouTube, where we do reviews, deep dives, analyze Disney villains, and have shorts of the homestead and wildlife.
Where's the mom?
Yeah, we're strange. I am your host, the Bullfrog, and if you hear anything upstairs, that's my little brother's family. The Newt is not behind the camera, but he is expanding the pond. Please click on his playlist and videos. Let's help him up a bit, huh? But before we can go any deeper into Disney villains, one thing you should know is this. We're not doing a poll. This is not about opinion. This is through a formula. If you want to know more about the formula, go here. What we're trying to do is find Disney's darkest villain. We want this.
You're not gonna shoot a puppy, are you, Jack?
Yeah, in the face. Why?
But as Disney, well, the disclaimers are done. Let's get into it. Let's analyze the Sheriff of Nottingham. This character shouldn't work. Look at his colors. They don't make sense. They shouldn't fit together. He's burnt orange. He has blue and purple, and he's under all of that, he's a big gray wolf. Honestly, I'd say his color for his wolf animal color is more dark gray. The colors shouldn't fit, and yet they do. They fit. They do it well. And he's of my design.
You said it. That's
Way to represent, bro. I can't be biased. It's one of the most important things of the formula. Don't be biased. This is not opinion. This is a formula. As much as I want to love you for being what we are, I can't help but realize the animators did you wrong. No, they really did do him wrong. This movie was put on a budget, and out of everyone, he was the biggest victim. Take a look at these clips. No one has been repeated more than him. Heck, in the movie The Sword in the Stone, the antagonists in that film were being repeated, but not as harshly as him. I would have preferred if there was more budget into him so we could get more of his movement. But him not being such a sharp-wit character with energy behind him like Prince John, him being more laid back, they tried to use that limitation to say, hey, this is his personality.
It smarts, don't it?
This is a hindrance, and a major one at that. But can the script writing and the voice acting make amends for this atrocity of him being such cut down? Well, for the voice acting, I have to go to the handy-dandy notebook. Pat Buttrams? I bet I am saying that wrong. And that man has a very distinct voice. You could probably pick him out in a crowd just by hearing him alone. And that voice sounds like something that belongs in the Old West, not England.
Everybody, everywhere, will say Clint Eastwood is the biggest yellow belly in the West.
That is a one-of-a-kind voice, being so off-putting into that medieval world of England. So that kind of makes him a lot more unique in parts, because having that voice that doesn't fit kind of helps him stand out a little bit more.
Crime a neatly, Trigger. Point that pea shooter the other way.
That they've written his personality to be, well, I am what I am. What? You could point at scenes that shine a big highlight on it, but I think no scene does it better than this moment in the movie.
The sniveling, groveling, weaselly me. But, sire, it's a big hit. The whole village is singing it.
Look at that. We have seen scenes like this in many other movies. Heck, in a lot of movies. And the person who does this normally recants, they flinch in fear, or they pull out excuses or plead for mercy. A lot of characters do that. But notice what the Sheriff of Nottingham does.
But, sire, it's a big hit. The whole village is singing it.
He just states a fact. That's it. He didn't defend himself. He didn't make excuses. He just pointed it out.
It's a big hit. The whole village is singing it.
This is who he is. He's not ashamed of what he does or who he does it to. And normally, if a henchman in this style, being so highly regarded and doing a small slap, even though unintentional or intentional, can lead them down the path of rebellion. But the Sheriff of Nottingham doesn't rebel. He's probably Prince John's second most loyal servant. He got away with murder. He didn't get punished. He didn't get, well, admonished.
That's a thinker.
He just said, do this job and do it right. And he does it. He enforces it. He did it willingly and proudly. Not that many characters that are henchmen have this, and we got to give credit where credit is due. This is one of the most beautiful things about the formula, is highlighting important moments that make these Disney villains stand on firmer ground and really highlight these lesser moments. And this is a well-done moment, written very well, and a character has a very unique personality. We gotta acknowledge that, but yet, he is still a victim of the budget, but the voice actor being so charismatic, charming, loving what he is because he is what he is, and he is that. And the writers just keeping it to the letter like that. I have to give him a 3.
Now, that's mighty thoughty of you.
We found a way to analyze presents, and how he did that was through a formula. So we have a formula within our own formula.
Like a taco within a taco? A double-decker taco supreme.
Basically, this is the construction that we have. But this is the Sheriff of Nottingham. We have to go into history first. After all, if you want to talk Robin Hood, there's a lot of name drops. Robin Hood, Little John, Maid Marian, Prince John, and the Sheriff of Nottingham. You need at least 4 out of these 5 to make a Robin Hood movie.
Yes, he does.
Some movies have done it with 4 of these 5 characters. And the Sheriff of Nottingham is one of the must-haves, it feels like to me.
Agreed.
This is Disney's rendition of it. So with this rich backstory and where this character comes from, this is our rendition of it. And with this, we can go into his introduction. And his introduction is the introduction of the movie, a folk song of Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest.
Stop that. You're not going into a song while I'm here.
And in that, you have the Sheriff of Nottingham and his cronies trying to capture him. This is how he is introduced. And it's not as dark or sinister. It's just highlighting the character, and this is what he's doing. It's kind of upbeat. Well, the song and the way how everything's being presented, it feels upbeat. It's just, hey, this is the story. It's like everything you have with Robin Hood. It's the sheriff trying to capture him. This is nothing new.
You go too far.
That's what his introduction is. And you could kind of see why we had to introduce the history first. And now we can get into his promise. And his promise is this. He is nothing more than a glorified thug. But he's so good at it, and he's so loyal, that he goes above and beyond, to the point that he's not just a henchman. He is another villain for Robin Hood. That is his promise, and he fulfills it. Prince John says, collect taxes. He does it with a song and a gleam in his eye, and you see what he's up to.
So Daisy, Bingo. What they won't think of next.
The man just glorifies in being a bad guy. That is his promise, and can he fulfill that as a threat? Oh my goodness, yes. He loves his job.
They call me a slob, but I do my job.
He is just too good, he just loves it. I like the fact he's nothing more than a lighthearted threat. Throughout the whole movie, he doesn't feel too scary, and yet you could feel like there's a harsh edge to him, in a way. And I kind of like that this is more aimed at a younger audience, and they are willing to go a little harsh. Not too harsh, but it's a little there. A thin edge to this blunt blade that is the Sheriff of Nottingham. I like that. How does he affect the environment of his scenery? I'd say he's a 90-10. 90% of the time, there is nothing new. He's very casual. He goes through the steps. There's nothing really show-stopping about him. But when he's at his darkest, that's when the movie shines a light and goes, all right, now you're changing the environment. Now you're doing something big. Now we can let you eat the scenery a whole lot more and give the camera the gravity that it needs. Because it is there. He only has 2 times where he's at his darkest, and yet the movie flexes it. And the first time, him being the darkest character, it's during the arrest of Friar Tuck. The way how that is filmed and presented, with it being in the rain and seeing him put that manacle on Friar Tuck, it's not on his hands, it's on his throat. And having everyone react to that in such a sad way, that kind of adds credence. And seeing them take Friar Tuck away, that's him affecting the environment. The second time we see that, again, it's when the film is at its darkest. It's when he feels like he has Robin Hood finally cornered, him going up the stairs, and with that torch, he's just eating everything up. He's the one that turned on the fire. He's the one that went amok with this. It's him going wild. And this is him being free. The Sheriff of Nottingham taking root on screen. It's only 2 times, and yet I feel like he has it. So this is him on the environment. But there's one more piece of the puzzle. This won't affect his rating of him having presence, but this will help us for the free-for-all. This is not a tier list, people. We're trying to find number 1. So there's going to be something called the free-for-all, where we're going to compare all Disney villains and have them clash with each other. And with that, we'll find out who is number 1. And the times will help them. And for that, we have to go to the handy-dandy notebook. And the Sheriff of Nottingham is on screen 10 minutes and 31 seconds, estimatedly. And everyone sounds adorable. With that all said and put together, I'd say he has presence, but it's not effective. So, but it's there. So I'll put him at the halfway mark. He's a 2.
Criminally.
First off, he's a big wolf that can go eye to eye with the elephants and rhinos of the world of Robin Hood. This is a big guy, and he's also a big guy. And having weight in the animal world, I believe, helps a whole lot, because that's stamina, that's endurance. You can take hits and health bars. And the movie shows he can take hits. There's a level of endurance. He could take a castle wall to the face and end up all right. And there is some knowledge of weaponry. He knows how to use a bow and arrow. He knows how to use a sword. And there's a sense of leadership. He does lead some of Prince John's henchmen. Not all of them, but there is a section of them. So he has a percentage of Prince John's army.
Excellent.
And there's also the infrastructure of Prince John. The power to tax and collect taxes, and to have the freedom to take as much as he wants to fill Prince John's coffers. All of that money came from the Sheriff of Nottingham's work. That shows the effectiveness that the sheriff is with this system. He's the best one. So, yeah, there's a lot of power there. And also the strength that he is who he is. I talked a lot with design, but I can't help but love that scene. While everyone will flinch and cringe at Prince John, the Sheriff of Nottingham just goes with it and continues on the conversation like nothing has happened. I'm sorry, that is a level of fortitude I can't help but admire.
Sounds fair.
But he can get knocked out by a chicken. He has a low level of observance. Yeah, he could see that something's off in the tournament, but yet he doesn't see weird things are happening during the prison break.
Oh, shucks, Trigger, it's only nutsy.
There's moments of the movie where he is, well, hindered. He loses to Little John, but yet he does eventually get out. He's a weird conundrum of power. We see the faults, but yet there is an edge, but it's not there yet. He's very meh with his power. So I'll make him meh with his power. He's a 2 out of 4.
Criminally.
Leave none alive.
And let's start with the vagueness of his henchmen. His position to Prince John. He does lead a percentage of the men that follow Prince John. The beginning of the movie shows that he has a force of wolves that are able to get close to hitting Robin Hood.
Hello. This one almost had my name on it, didn't it?
He also has his own crew of henchmen. The 2 vultures, Nutsy and Trigger. Nutsy has a few screws loose, but yet he helps him cheat in the tournament. So there's a point there. Trigger is the one that made it possible for Friar Tuck to be arrested. Points to Henchmen, his personal henchmen. But Nutsy is easily apprehended. Trigger, effective and he's observant and close to capturing the heroes as he is, he doesn't succeed in stopping the hero. And he also is a threat to those around him whenever he presents arms. And also there's the ending of the movie where Prince John, Hiss, and the sheriff are arrested. Nutsy and Trigger are their guards. This is a style of rebellion. I'm noticing this is kind of like a theme for the Sheriff of Nottingham. When he has the edge, there's a counterpoint that says no. We just did that with his henchmen and with his power. But it's because of his henchmen, though, the movie actually goes down a darker path. After Friar Tuck is arrested, it's all kind of downhill for the heroes. So that is a super effective point we have to talk about. If it wasn't for Trigger, Friar Tuck would have been caught, and Friar Tuck wouldn't have been a tool to be a piece of bait for Prince John to capture Robin Hood. All that because of Trigger. A lot is on that moment. We cannot ignore it. So we'll give him the halfway mark. The henchman for the sheriff is 2 out of 4.
Now, that's mighty thoughty of you.
Good point. No bail. Next.
He's a tax collector.
Well, duh.
He takes it all. And it doesn't matter who he takes it from or how he takes it. He will take it. Whether it's from the injured and going to make the injured far more worse, he'll do it. He's the guy that is willing to steal a penny from a child. He's a guy that will tax an old blind man too, in that regard. And he is willing to, and arrest an innocent man because that innocent man is trying to resist taxation. He'll do that. And he will enforce taxation to the point that people can no longer support their homes. People are homeless and living in prison. He'll gladly do that. That's the taxation aspect of the Sheriff of Nottingham.
They call me a slob, but I do my job.
There's also the tournament part. He did cheat. We gotta highlight that. You cheated. And also, you arrested a lot of innocent people. They couldn't afford the taxes, yet you put them in jail. Gotta point that out. And is willing to kill an innocent man. And thwarted the rescue attempt of Robin Hood. The Sheriff of Nottingham prevented it and let the tournament brawl happen. Another piece of the Sheriff of Nottingham being a villain is him burning down the castle. So with him burning down that castle and forcing Robin Hood to just go higher and higher and higher to the point that it's a near-death situation. This is one of the most climactic parts of the movie. Prince John is the root of the climax, but the Sheriff of Nottingham put the climax more into action, destroying the king's home and putting the hero in that situation. And that's him at his worst, other than Friar Tuck. He enjoys doing this. I think that's one of the worst aspects about him. He knows this is bad, and he just does it because he can.
What they won't think of next.
That is the cruelty that is the Sheriff of Nottingham. So yeah, I had a hard time trying to place the Sheriff of Nottingham. So I called the Newt, and we kind of came to an agreement that the Sheriff of Nottingham, villain as he is, he's still kind of like a henchman. So it's not him being a henchman that's the problem. The problem is all the evil he's done is by order.
Double the taxes, triple the taxes, squeeze every last drop out of those insolent musical peasants.
The one thing he did that was very independent from Prince John was the arrest of Friar Tuck. And everything else, it was him following orders. Does that make him less of a villain? No. It just puts him on a low end, but his effectiveness, his cruelty, keeps him up high. So he is going to be a high yellow in placement. But before I close this off, here's something to consider. The Sheriff of Nottingham may be a point for Prince John. Prince John did all the orders. Prince John is the root of the Sheriff of Nottingham. So the placement of the Sheriff of Nottingham is kind of like a notch for Prince John's belt.
I have it.
And gives him a higher edge than his competition. So when we do the free-for-all, the Sheriff of Nottingham will be an added hidden point to Prince John. Didn't see this coming, but when you think about it, it does make sense. We've been doing a whole lot, and we haven't done that much with Disney villains, so my next video will be on Disney villains. But until that time comes, this is the Bullfrog signing out. Be right back.